like a phantom in the night. No, in the middle of the night, in a cold sweat. You're not getting married. Bazok Vimba hostage. My ex-boyfriend was not the only hard knock footer on my plane. Over 5 years. As we are dropping us off at Jardim. Yeah. Megui that's never again. Mara, you meet variations of amafuta. That's the thing. When you're in the world, you meet variations of amafuta. One time kili futa la chicken. And last week megui lamb. Tomorrow it's steak. The next day it is some exotic meat that you went and ate from carnivore. Mara, wakopana lifura anyway. You tell yourself uti it's different this time. You meet a new guy good different. Omunye uza ngama waza at different. Electric. Go chokan. Yo guys, mafura. I came to Christ and I was like, mina nkathala ukunibela on amafuta ngephoso. Ke khathetse ho ja mafura ka phoso modimo tle. Kopa nna never again ke kopana le mafura. Mafura a tlo itwetsa ngore nna ha ko nyala monna o mongwe ke jedena ke bambina and he's jedena. Mafura a tlo itseng hore ha ona monna o mongwe o tlo go rata ngo phala nna Karabo. Lifura le tsebang hore ha le go tshwanele. But then holds on to you anyway. Lifura le go vimbanka korobela a gono shela fandi one cause hana game. He's effeminate. O need a cherure ibe weak. Asike go natha mafura and then mafura ana itotse gore na tlong ya like I'm not going to be okay. That's why I can under 40 as a spinster. God was then like, fine, I will hand these mafutas over to a reprobate mind. You told yourself, my daughter, since you bit into them that you never want to touch that lifura again. And then you checked your plate very carefully. You checked your plate, baby girl, very carefully to make sure you are no longer going to be out your gaula ring amafuta. Yeah, no, that check and that test was my Christianity, my faith. I was like, okay, now that I'm in Christ, I guess please, I'm waiting on the Lord for a husband. Now these guys be out here counterfeiting meat as amafuta. They be out here chilling on your plate, making like, what is that wannabe meat that's not really meat? For vegans. Soya, or whatever. It's not real like fish, it's not real meat, it's not real no, it is real protein. Mara, it's not really giving meat. Like a vegan burger. Have you ever eaten a vegan burger? When in your mind gets a vegan steak, gets a vegan chicken patty, vegan Cajun burger. Labantu ba busy plating ya eat vegan fish. I mean, just by mere virtue of calling something vegan fish, it's an oxymoron. I can beg man. Go mixa. Go na le di dichotomy knocking. The duplicitousness more, mix masala more. Just by mere virtue of calling something a vegan vegetable, my battery is on 7%. So I am going to lose progress that I have amassed for myself on this phone. But it's okay because I've come a long mile. I need to change out batteries. Not batteries, but chargers. Because lananya recorder. The other one, it can die, Shem. And it's gonna die. To salvage it from the precipice of death. But at least I've done quite a lot of edits in the run-up to. Just by mere virtue of calling something vegan fish, just by mere virtue of calling something vegan chicken, you're in contradiction. You can't be vegan if you're not plant-based altogether, so it's not real chicken. Yeah, these guys be out here hanging out on your plate as soy, or is it soya? It's a fake thing. It's not the real deal. That's counterfeit. They try to make themselves digestible and chewable by speaking enough Christianese and infiltrating the life of believers, having a whole bunch of Christian activity, putting a badge of Christianity on their a lapel of Christianity on their shirts, walking around with crosses dangling on their necks, and then attending Sunday services and attending Bible studies, out here talking about how the Lord bless you, highly favored, etc. Bunch of Christianese. Mara lifura, and if you are an experienced eater of amafuta, nizoazi guys ukuthi ayizondlula khambekela naso hade badeke maswabi eyona ke fake ke counterfeit kopa nje uskadlala kana, which is why I keep on inspiring people to let go of ntotale fati babalele ntsola morana Jesu, let go of the things of the earth and read the things of God, so that you can be able to be a nice little detective. Ingati, you are Kuruzo, Inspector Kuruzo, or a Magu. Make yourself a detective, Wankuntra, and interrogate. Who is this detective Ona? Otsebachang Haholo Holo, that investigates things and everything comes, like, it just gives under his, like, random jurisdiction. Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I wanted to find him. Sherlock Holmes. Make like Sherlock Holmes. grab paraphernalia, magnifying glasses, all different kinds of looking stuff, and figure out because the thing about la mafuta that are undigestible, their undigestibility is the fact that you chew into them in the first place and then you get bilious later. You regret the decision later. There is delay between your consumption and your vomiting. And that delay sometimes looks like divorce. And seeing as divorce and remarriage are wrong in the sight of God, you will find yourself on a 30, spring chicken fresh out of your mother's womb, newly divorced from a dude you married at 24. And then the Lord says, if you enter into a marriage again while that bamboon is still alive, you are committing adultery against me. Know that that's what you're doing. So and then now plating good as gender-based violence at least. Can you take celibacy in your stride from 30 until 50 when this guy finally dies? Then only you can meet some other dude out there in these streets that's also a widower. Can you? Are you willing to wait? No, many of y'all aren't. And that is the reason why you are bereaving God right now. He is upset, he's berated at the fact that you are ignoring his precepts about divorce and remarriage. You are adulterous all over the show. You are not resisting the devil. You are not putting to death the deeds of the body. You are not taking in your stride celibacy for the rest of your days. And if you didn't have children, the prospect of never having them, you are literally hurting God. Let's Mar. 2 Timothy 4, you gather for yourself a great number of teachers to teach them what your itching ears want to hear. So therefore you will grab a pastor that out here will manufacture doctrines that will be in alignment within WT. You are a divorced man or woman that's remarried, even though your former spouse is still alive. There are plenty of Christians in these streets, professing Christians, that are happy to tell you that I got this charger, nothing is gonna give, but it's okay. I need my phone to keep charging so I can keep on talking. They will literally tell you that it's okay. No, that scripture was for this. They will have a meandering explanation. They will hang out in a church in front of a congregation of people like Marcus Rogers and insist on preaching despite being on wife number 3. And with this wife number 3, they will fight every last person in the kingdom of God that's calling him out on this adultery. And he will come up with his own doctrines as to why it is that these people are just haters. These people are just haters. Putting women in adulterous affairs. Prophet Lovey also went and married a woman that was never married before. This chick is now an official adulteress. But there are doctrines of demons. There are people completely ignoring iqiniso. So when you are to be eating amafuta, ingati itambo lase Kentucky, nibbling into it until you discover what lento yanyanyisa agara vomited. Ngasi khona hukunya lifura lena. Also file the divorce proceedings. Also file the pampiri, guys. Mara, you had more than enough. You had everything you needed in order to live a life in godliness. You had everything you needed in order to avoid marrying a man like this. A lot of times, like I just read right now from Galatians 5 and Ephesians 5. There are fruit that they bear or fruit that they lack, if at all they claim to be in Christ. There are enough evidence for you to run with that this man is not born again. And it is in being in a rush to go and get married that then once you decide to go and divorce, such words as the ones that I'm speaking from my tongue annoy you to a point of insisting that a woman not have career, woman not have love, no friends, woman not have no support. Leave me at the mercy of divorce twice. The one in America was divorced twice already. Leave me at the mercy of a criminal that for a season is prepared to stop bribing the police, but he does not know God. Top of that, he's presently married and says, for you, Karabo, I will leave my wife. Out here making home wreckers out of Christian women that are trying to justify that this here somehow makes sense. How a man meets you and a year later he's divorced his wife, and 6 months later he's marrying a Christian. The same sonto officiates over that marriage, and the same sonto accommodates that second wife, causing the ex-wife to stop congregating, fellowshipping at that church, because now people have embraced the other wife. These men, they speak smack about their exes, but when you listen to the testimonies of their exes, when you put your ears to the ground, you will come to learn Uguti. They were psychologically manipulative, they were abusive, they used to intimidate wonkumuntu. According to the lady that exposed Prophet Lovi, Musadiwa Prophet Lovi, his first wife, he spoke about her like she was the naysaying thing that was coming against everything that a good man was trying to build. And she bought it until she was on the receiving end of the reviling of Prophet Lovi and enchanting, beguiling his congregation against her. Gigi, when Gigi called Prophet Lovi out for what he was, Now, all of a sudden, the thing that his wife was described as to Gigi became Gigi's reputation. This man prospered to amass himself all the support from his congregation. And everybody that had a bone to pick with him, they were the issue, they were the problem. Notwithstanding that there is a common denominator here, that after people literally glide right by that scene, come out on the other side, strangely, as the hypocrites, the revilers, the ones that are trying to bring a good man down. He's the common denominator, and every person he deals with somehow ends up looking like they're trying to bring him down. They will convince, especially considering they use magic, everybody that that person is wrong. Prophet Lovi so turned the world against his first wife that he got custody. Usually women are the ones that win custody, but when you're a powerful man, you win custody in spite of the woman being right and the best influence for the children. Kids, however, unfortunately, bayahanya sometimes, because the Bible says that in the heart of a child dwells a great deal of folly, and the rod of discipline will drive it away. Therefore, the more powerful parent with more clout, with more street cred, that is able to amass for himself better stats, is basically a flex, a better one for a kid. They feel as if though he or she is better for him or her to present to his friends as, this is my dad. So the kids tend to prefer the more powerful parent that is able to pull better strings, that is favored by more people, because that awards them popularity. The rod of discipline is not driving out that folly out of them. So these kids end up neglecting, abandoning their parents, the ones that are the best for them and for their sanctity, for their righteousness. These sanctimonious false shepherds literally tear, and not just false shepherd, but men who are just be reviling the names of ex-wives. They prosper to cause the children even to turn from their mothers, okay? We saw what happened with Dwayne Wade. How it is that he got custody of the children, and his wife was made to look like a crazy lady, and he won custody in all cases, in spite of the wife being the one that makes more sense. She had no resources, so she was thrown out on a limb, and now she has to watch her child transition to a girl when he was born a boy. Well, with Prophet Lovi, same thing apparently happened. He got the son, even though the woman fought for one, I think, and he had the resources. She was cast out from the church. She knows how he really is, but everybody in the encircling periphery is looking at Prophet Lovi like, yo, that woman, sorry, she didn't deserve you. And the kid, just like Dwayne Wade's kids, favor the powerful parent that gives them clout in school, that makes them popular in school. These kids, however, eventually grow up and they become 26, and they realize that their dad divided them from their mother. They realize that their parents thought the mother was not really wrong, but as a child, clout is so important. There is a story of some false preacher lady that runs a church, I forgot her name, okay, that I was reading on the internet. She's out here running some church that is blasting people in the spirit with prayer, pressurizing everybody. It's a cult, all right, in the US. She's still in operation, very powerful. Go and watch her. Go and watch that story. She's powerful materially. She has bribed the police, the council, the municipal council, the mayors of that town. All the cases that get brought against her literally don't stand. Even reporters actually come out falling short on the other side of trying to take her on. Yeah, we are saying Lomfazi, she's running a cult, and in that cult she has dazed up and beguiled everybody in there, such that abantwana literally for years out here rejected their parents who decided to defect from the church. Family members belonging to the church would literally do testimonies saying that our mother is the one that's nasty. There is nothing about this church that's messed up. She is the one that we could not control her. She's the one that's this and that. Family members speaking out against their own family members, and worse yet, children rejecting their parents for defecting from the church because they discovered it was a cult. And there is a very heartbreaking story of a woman that had twin boys, and these twin boys were just like, they were prepubescent, maybe like 11, 12, when she finally defected from the church. She tried to take her children, they prospered. These kids did not have a father. This was a single mom, and yet strangely that church won custody over the children because of the overwhelming derogatory counsel and false witness that was spoken against her by members of the church, including family members that were not, however, immediate, like aunties, that spoken about against this woman. Witness testimonies against her were so compelling that literally they awarded custody to, I think, a auntie or something that was still in the church, and this woman lost her twin boys at just the age of 11 to 12. And then I think her name is Coleman, something, I could say, but some crazy woman that is still alive today. Yeah, she lost custody of these kids, and then when these kids were, like I said, 28, They're out here pushing 30. They are married. They've got children. Only at that stage, they snap out of it and realize that was a cult that separated them from their mom. They don't have a relationship with their mom, and now they're having to build one. The adults, they recover, but when they were still kids, they would not break away from this cult. That's what was popular. They ran with it. That is the mind of a child. If you don't drive discipline out of it, if you don't drive folly out of them, they will literally support the wrong parent. Eventually that woman got recovered to her kids, but such things happen with random men that are powerful, that leave their wives. They get custody of children, and the ex-wives look like crazy ladies on a rooftop, and these kids will stand with the more powerful parent because it's just easier for their clout. It's hard to be always dealing with a crying mom, and it's also hard to always be dealing with a mother that has no money, not as much money, because dad was the wealth source. Dad was the reservoir of wealth, the house that is dad's. That's the one that makes my friends as a teenager think I'm cool, so they prefer to live with their dad, only for them to get to the age of 24, 25 and be like, goodness, I had no relationship with my mom because my dad and his mistress, side piece turned wife, literally took me from my mother. They eventually snap out of it like child soldiers snapping out of their child soldier state and regretting having killed so many people despite being kids. When you've got a man that is this manipulative, whose son is eventually going to turn against him for turning him against his mom, but not first before ignoring the mom. Why in the world would you as a woman accommodate that kind of nonsense rubbish? Because they are able to psychologically manipulate. The fruit are already evident in these men. Another case in point is Tina Turner. Tina Turner was abused by her husband Ike Turner, and her kids, her sons, they ignored her pain. They didn't care. They were abusive of her too. They thought that she was just too much. She's always getting beaten because it was just easier to be embraced and received by the popular opinion. It would only be much later, when Tina Turner is a grown woman that has won a case against her husband, that her sons would turn around and be like, what were we doing? A wicked man can turn a man's children against her, and vice versa, I guess. But largely, custody tends to favor women for good reason, because they are the nurturers and they are the ones that tend to raise abantwana. A man that is a good dad will generally, according to the standards of this world, struggle against his wife, ex-wife, to get custody of children, because that's just the way that it is in this world. Unless you're a powerful man that out here will cause a court of law judge to give full custody, not even half to a man, of children that a woman is going to miss out on the potential, on the opportunity to be in the life of her children. The influence of a mother is just huge in the life of boy and especially girl children. And when then you rip your daughters away from their mom, what in the world? All in the interest of clout. Do you understand? Because they can revile their wives. And I'm dealing with men who are always reviling exes and then just scoop up new women and run with them into the future. Just this morning, when I woke up, I had a flash understanding, or flash vision, if you will, just some kind of communicate concerning Ashanti. Oh, and Nelly. Oh, baby. Ashanti, the music artist. Nelly. You know how she felt pregnant by him? And now the two of them today, I believe, are married. He decided to marry her because she's pregnant. And then he said that, I'm just not going to let her be a baby mama. And then he decided to marry her. Well, there is a backstory to Storisa Ashanti, right? Backstory. You will remember Nellyville, that documentary it wasn't a documentary, sorry, but it was a reality TV that Nelly had called Nellyville. I used to watch it in the season of me suffering, because there was a time when I had nothing to do with myself, twiddling my fingers. There was no internet, so every so often I would watch DSTV. And the industrial piercing that I have here was actually inspired by one of Nelly's sons. I saw it on his ear and I was like, it's so cute, and I went and got it. Anyway, during the time when I was watching Nellyville, Nelly was dating at that stage some woman. I don't know what her name is. He was dating some woman, right? I don't know what her name is. She was not a celebrity. One of those regular Jane girlfriends / wives of celebs. So she's not the one, it's not like Brad and Angelina. You get my point. The woman that Nelly was with that is not a celebrity. He was with her and they were rolling around in these streets like some donuts and some chocolates, just dunking in the worldly lives that they were living in. Fine, that relationship happens, and apparently it lasted so ridiculously long that just last year or year before last, I stand corrected, that's only when it ended. So Nelly was out here dating a woman that he was not marrying. Nelly was dating a woman that he was not marrying. He had various other baby mamas. I don't know if Nelly was ever married to any other woman before, but he certainly did have kids, because that's what men in the world do. And they also love the company of women. They love to be taken care of by a woman who cooks, who is at home, who is a presence that is nurturing in that space. So they love to live with women, even though they don't marry them, which is why y'all need to leave the world, so men won't do this to you. Anyway, whatever, right? Or they can't do this to you because it is not within your principle set to allow that. This woman that was with Nelly for all these billions of years, Nelly never married. For what purposes don't nobody know. And she broke up with Nelly, that chick, right? The one that out here be raising his kids, the one that was raising Nelly's nest of children, even though she was not their mom. And of course, I think she might have had a child with him too. Cut before the horse. Yo, little man. Anyway, whatever. Alright, we don't know what is the purpose, the reason why this lady decided that one day she's gonna pop her eyes open and leave Nelly. But what is certainly true is that in her decision to leave Nelly, she said, I'm gonna walk out of this so that he can get his act together, and then he will come back and bring me back into his life. Now, when you've been with a man for that long and you're that confident that he's not going to just throw me out on a limb, after all, I raised some of his children. They look at me frankly as mom. You trust that Lendo Dalena that's not marrying you is going to be like, oh, okay, fine, let me get my act together and marry you. Your kids know her. Your kids call her when they need stuff. She's so involved in the life of his children that if at all she were to disappear from their lives, there would be a void, a gargantuan one felt. There would be a massive void felt in that space. She tells herself that this man loves his children enough to not let that void be a thing. Plus, she's been in his life all these years. Wangnida. So much in the same way that a woman that feels like you're wasting my years, I've never been married, and I'm sitting here out here living with you in your house. I would imagine what that woman probably said was, listen, you're not marrying me, and we've been together for years. So I'm leaving. And the whole hope and intention was that Nelly would get his act together, shake himself, do you understand? And be like, okay, come back. She imagined that Nelly would actually be going vroom, like a vehicle that's been stationary in a parking lot for way too long, and then finally it starts to move. She thought that she could shake him into shape. And then she made like a skedaddle and stepped. Wahamba Lomfazi, thinking that Nelly would be like vroom, come back, right? Shaking like removing snow off your coat after being out in the blizzard. And Nelly, in that season, because that's what men do, Basadi, you're the ones that pine, that mope, that moan, that groan, that eat ice cream, let yourself get fat on cotton candy, and watch a whole bunch of romantic comedies, and be inconsolable even by your friends when you get out of a relationship with a man. You're the ones that when you get dumped, or when you dump someone, when you get cheated on, when something happens, you coop up like a tortoise in their shell. In its shell, and you disappear for a moment until you come out 2 kilograms heavier. You do that. You are from Venus and they're from Mars. You're naive, therefore, Venetian, to imagine that a Martian is also going to curl up like a snail in its shell because you dumped it. Men, rebounds are their thing. Coming out of a slump of, oh snap, she dumped me with a prostitute. Men are the ones that are going to be like, oh, like bon. Men are the ones that essentially experiment with the waters, and they cope with losing you essentially by replacing you. They don't eat ice cream on a couch, mope, and gain 3 kilograms. They find something that felt close to you, something that was just like you, and especially if they felt irritated by the fact that you're pressurizing them, more so are they going to find a replacement for you. So if you want to get married and a dude is dilly-dallying on the spot, first and foremost, get born again so you will stop fornicating until you live with a boyfriend for 5 years as a Hlongwane. When you are not messing with your chastity, busy with the drove, a guy's not gonna linger anyway. And on top of that, you are not gonna sit around and feel like a boyfriend did that you keep on holding hands and hugging in the mall, but you can't have sex with. Uzomshia, umoshizkati, and you are burning with passions. So being in Christ eradicates the prospect of you jollaring for 7 years and never getting the ring. Drove makes sure that umuntu uzoblow manje hanging out in the relationship with cobwebs growing on him. Ingati he's swinging on a hammock. Mara, that's how men are wired. What for who must I commit if you are out here giving me yonkinto that I want, the duties of a wife? And if you can do it for me, there's more where you come from, man. Relax. Men in the world think that there's more of us where we came from, and that's why they adore polygamy. Tango fella si 20 that can do the same thing. Recipes are the exact same. No magui footstoots, no magui Hong Kong, bege lanze ili mendi, even though you wanted to buy a Fendi. But Kanguti, the counterfeit is just as good as the real deal. They only learn later on that the counterfeit don't do jack, and then regret and try to go back to the original. Kodwa, tlhaloganya hore while he thinks ukuthi yonke intsipu ya washa, you are replaceable. You need Jesus, Hashem. You are replaceable for as long as this dude thinks. It all carries the lipstick, the lip balm, the hand sanitizer, the kiatsa koloi, le random tissues and weird stuff that women put in there, whether or not ki Gucci or Mucci. A fake purse just cause zonke listen to they carry all the things you need. The real deal, you will only buy it if you are able to identify ukuthi this is not a real Gucci nja uskatlong bora karumchi ungazon Kenya ngama cubic zirconia. The other day I was inside Temu scanning there for some cute things to see what in the world I would perhaps next time buy out here not shopping but cruising the mall like a pigeon. And I saw that Temu, because I like jewelry, starts recommending jewelry to me, and it started recommending wedding rings. Asiki 50 rand taking, asiki 45 rand taking, asiki 90 80. Mara, when you look at this thing with your naked eye, you're not a jeweler. I was even taught a man net, and I haven't a evaluator to figure out what you would get duped by a dude ring lucky packet that looks like a diamond. It looks like the real deal. When you don't know story sakho uzothengelwa engagement ring kuThemu ngoba lo muntu going to American Swiss iyamkhathaza. To go to Browns yamuyimela ebokete nkare skupa tisa bege sangwana omunyane o tshwering bege ndefela ekima for that small body aya go grade 7 or go grade 5 go crashing go downtown Joburg o tlo muyimela ka having to buy a ring etura wa tla ho bonya. And when I tla ntse o screama out you're losing your mind. O go bathung bana bona o engage itse I'm getting married kante o rekile for 44 rand ko Themu. And it's one of the jewelry za ko Themu. They don't rusa, guys, not quickly. All my jewelry is from Themu. I've been washing my hands with the stuff and some of the stuff I've been wearing in my ear now for about 2 months, and it's not worn out. The color is still pretty much gold. So guys, everybody knows these are not diamonds, kidi crystal. They're not even cubic zirconia, and hape is not real gold. It can't be, because gang real gold. Ka 84 rand ko paketing and di jewelry 6. Hey? It's got 6 like hoopy earrings. They're not real gold. If at all, I got them for literally 88 rands. But Temu will be out selling you a counterfeit like that. When a man don't adore you, he will literally see you as the same thing as a ring chilling ko stands, ko Browns, ko American Swiss, right next to some dobolo from yesterday. Uma kwapeni wa mafigizolo uzo nibega on the same level, and you won't be able to see the difference until iskati progresses, until an evaluator comes in. Until an individual with some kind of looking paraphernalia is like, this is a diamond, this angazi, but it's nothing. Okay, flush it down the toilet, you won't miss it. Don't insure it, because the moment you go to the insurance company to try and insure it, they're gonna wanna first evaluate it, they're gonna wanna first calculate as to whether or not it's the real deal. And manje, when the loss adjuster just tells you, sorry ma'am, but this is not even worth the while for you to specify in your portable possessions because it's under 1,500 rand. When your man puts you on the same level as cubic zirconia or worse crystal, when a man puts you on this or glass, when he puts you on the same level or real gold next to something that I'm sure this thing after 5 years is not going to be gold anymore. It's not real. It's gold plated, but with better manufacturing technology, so as to not rusa like back in the day and earring actually be giving fake after just 2 days of wearing it and being in the rain. These days they make fake jewelry to last a lot longer. Same way that they make milk last a lot longer, as quickly. And so a counterfeit, a man will put you next to it and cause you to feel so worthless in the season when he's out here flaunting that counterfeit in everybody's eyes, until Masek Shubi Lemanje years down the line have progressed. But by then he's ignored in WT. You were like, see me see trouble, when are you gonna marry me? Unso pressurize a monoro ahonyale, just get born again. So you don't deal with the dude that's going to put you in the same bucket as cubic freaking zirconia, as a diamond. You will be undermined by people that quickly move on to rebounds, replace you, who's been raro daimedi for 5 years with a prostitute. Next thing, Lomutlona, after prostitute yakona, sekachatile some chick and fella that he met within 3 months. Yo, wait again. Lole man. Khokotsi ka montle ka mole so sa ongeluk. So sa car accident is dangerous. It's dangerous. So story then saneli, ne? because I can be long-winding. Story sa Nelly. Utlelang Nelly kiyo. Welcome to Nellyville. It's okay. I don't want a ticket. I'm in heaven. Mara, those of y'all that are in Nellyville, you're still there. Mamenang. Chiki Nelly. Mara, of course, the story that gets to TMZ and everywhere else is she basically just walked out on him on a limb and fell out of the blue one day, leaving this unfortunate guy hanging. But baby, I love you. How are you just gonna leave me? There was a presentation by the media, a presentation by everybody, that this woman just up and left a guy that she couldn't afford to leave. But who in the world hangs out raising a man's children for 10 years and doesn't finally be like, ultimatum, marry me or I'm leaving? That's probably what happened, even though that's not what we're out here hearing. Like, proper gauge everybody's sides of the story. The Lord wakes me up to tell me, Hore, men are making out of women Nelly and Ashanti. Do you understand? What then does Nelly do? That which men do when they feel like wang tella wang dampa. That's what my ex-boyfriend did when I broke up with him. I'm there, ta. And I've the ride or die who I've been here around all the time with the broken English. I've the ride or die that who here been around the entire time. Because the first time he listens to me, he's gauging unintelligible broken English. I've the ride or die. And forever 3 years, 4, 7 and 5. There's been read together. I think. How are you gonna treat me like this? We've been together all this time. What is your problem? And so because he hears an unintelligible broken English rando that can't piece a sentence together, and imagined ukuthi uzothola something better than me. Baga hane re qala ho jola mamela cherry ne di sa o batle cause no dutsi ko call center o sna next sa khona ba betchetsa, and I was there. Ungena mali, I even taught you how to drive. I've the ride or die is here the 7 punch together is forever together. How you going to, but why? That's all he's hearing. Hey, I'm unintelligible to a point where one time when we had a closure meeting, because I matured enough to contact him because of the way that we broke up, he confessed to me that unabatla holoi akhelantlu and then invite me there like some makwapeni that is on his shoulder. And I'm like, Lokwapi, would she have wanted you? I doubt it. He finally married a woman that rejected him when he didn't have anything, even though she liked him. Because that's what he married. And so that sentence that was, I've the ride or die, 5 years together, shopping cons. Hey, the woman that he heard that from. Finally, my words are crystal clear now. Finally, my words today are crystal clear. But by the time crystal clarity arrives at the doorpost, at the doorstep, Karabo with the status of second wife to some dude who married the makwapeni he was out here cheating on me with when we were together. All that in my stride. Because no longer am I unintelligible because iskati yaba ravasas. Time makes them see that yoke is sins, and then they manipulate the entire town, speak smack of the counterfeit too. Seeing as in the beginning they spoke smack of the ride or die, Wonkumfazi is reviled, and the person here that looks like, oh, you got recovered to a woman that finally gets it, she understands you, she's the deal. The whole world is out here pampering him on some, hey, at least o survivile hard buddy. Aski se kasi yamer. Aseki go apologize amontsweng. Marantswa ya teng o entse di bari out of cherry too. And in the center the prostitute le babang ba makwapeni. But there's one that he finally married that is made to look like Ipari, right next to the one that he left. But before everybody looks like Isdomjan of a woman, he looks like a king that was salvaged by a much better woman. He looks like he was enabled by a woman that got it while another one was actually dropping the ball hard. Is that not what's happening today at Gabrielle Union? Is she not making excuses for died Dwayne Wade? Is she not seeing the same flames that Dwayne Wade showed? The years that progress before go tolwa D information D411 anosha mesne fakansine. It's not a holiday this kin niti ele ya go bora ya go tena e apere peach fast nkare ke tenes the way boranga tena ya zoma no gal ke tenes ya go zoma ya peach fast it will see a groove in your skin. It's not child's play as near vakansie as the varheit mara before the varheit becomes true. Abafaza by 2 have been made the animal lankuthu ntse balwana nje fela bashing their heads, ramming them into a wall, but then like monna 01 marane se go le monate when it's all fun and games with the papari something with the second woman. Everybody be out just saying, yo, I know shame, you let him go, another woman scooped them, girl, because one woman's trash is another woman's trash, until the other woman finds out that yo namik shubelana who shubi like Tony Braxton ko music video ele high. Who do you think I am? Don't you know that he was my man? Yeah, he wasn't man enough for me. And at that stage, that's when you are now in deep regret. So many times that the Lord even show me on music video Toni Braxton to show me today. In the beginning, however, and I am out just singing song who do you think I am? Don't you know that he was my man? And on top of that, like, don't you know that he's the one that wanted me? What makes you think he'll be good to you? No, it makes no sense, cause he will never change. Girl, you better recognize the game. Oh, did you know about us back then, girlfriend? He wasn't man enough for me. Yeah, same lessons over and over again to a point of producing music about it. Marabasadi asikidi posos out only just so Christ salvaged me from either me being Toni Braxton or the other chick. One of the two, like proper. The Lord was like, you will either be the one that's saying he wasn't man enough for me, while some chick is out here flossing a ring, or you will be the one that's married to Ntswa, flossing a ring to some woman that's like, what makes you think he'll be good to you? No, it makes no sense, cause he will never change. Girl, Evan, yeah, Ashanti, understand, if we are still here for another 10 years and the rapture doesn't happen, y'all gonna see flames. Nelly is going to cast her headlong. Understand, it's gonna happen. I wake up to see stories of Ashanti and Nelly, and I'm like, I don't want to be in Nellyville because I'm in heaven. And God was like, no, use that as an example to help these women understand Dilangani in the season of time when he's out here proposing to you and making you look like you're better than another woman. You are made to make a man look like he finally gained the love that he deserved, and he was cherishing and doting over a woman that didn't appreciate him, that just dumped him one day all of a sudden, until he decided to focus on another lady and then married her. This cheeky leaves Nelly, right? And within a mere moment, Nelly then reconciles with Ashanti. I don't know where they meet, whether they have a concert together, but they reconcile. And Ashanti is a celebrity, right? Yeah, Ashanti, unlike Nelly's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, is a celeb. And she was in his life long ago, before, and then they broke up. She is apparently, allegedly, better clout for Nelly anyway, because you were just a no-brainer that I took from the street, but I made a stable girlfriend, and now you want to marry me. Okay, yeah. Nelly goes and impregnates Ashanti, and upon impregnating Ashanti, right, he then is like, I don't want her to be just some baby mama, so I decided to put a ring on it. So Nelly decides to go and marry Ashanti now that she is pregnant. Okay, that's what is out here going on. It looks as if though you've always been the one, Ashanti. What fish paste, right? And I'm gonna put a baby in your tummy. But understand, all right, by the time I lost everything, my ex-boyfriend had gone on right ahead to marry the woman that was the Nyasi in our relationship. She also, like Ashanti, upon my ex meeting with her again and then having a whole bunch of sex, he impregnated her. And after impregnating her, he then decided that I'm not gonna be dealing with just a baby mama, so he decided to marry her. That's how the sequence of events happened over there. I was the ex-girlfriend that was always like, see me see trouble, when are you gonna marry me? Oh, see me see trouble, you best to marry me. See, we've been dating for many years now, you want to leave me for love. See me see trouble, you gonna marry me, oh, today. Until all of his stunt work made me leave him, and Jesus helped me stay gone. Years down the line, around, confesses to me that he wanted to use some woman whom and then goes to a woman that was around before me, but that didn't want him because he didn't want money, because he didn't have money. Puts a baby in her stomach, then decides, I might as well pay Lord. Marries her. And when this woman came into his life, everybody at that stage was already talking about me like I'm a crazy lady. I've lost my mind. He told her that I am mentally ill, that I'm speaking smack on a rooftop. I even lost my whole job and everything because I joined a cult. Yeah, Karabo stuff like that. Priding herself in I, as the ride or die that built a man, priding herself in the fact that she went and grabbed all of the work that I put in him, and that he made me seem like a bad woman for him. In this rhetoric, and this woman came in, given that she was so envious of our relationship and me, who rode out a guy that had nothing while she couldn't, and she prided herself in being the woman that is far more easygoing that is far more supportive, that far more has his back, and the whole planet around my ex-boyfriend. Talk about a bunch of backstabbing baboons, miscreants, and mutineers. Abantu that when I was with this guy were like, congra, hallelujah, amen, siyakubongela mntanakit for girlfriend yakho. She's helping you along. The same people that were like siyakubongela went on and gazed at this man apparently be better off with another woman, even though uakwe him, and said, congra, siyakubongela sisters. You salvaged a man out of a relationship nehlanya. Yeah, just like with Prophet Lovi's ex-wife. She ought to be getting called crazy in Prophet Lovi's congregation there in California. Just like with Marcus Rogers' ex-wives, they are the saboteurs of everything, and Marcus Rogers is the innocent guy that just needs love. My ex-boyfriend, just like with Nelly and Ashanti. Oh, siyakubongela, it was always Ashanti, she was always the one. While the other woman looks like she played with a relatively good man and let him go and played games, and now he went and married another woman. One woman's trash is another woman's treasure, thus saith the planet, encircling Nelly and Ashanti and that other lady. Yeah, I have been on the receiving end of praises because I am good for a man, only to be reviled as a woman and be left on the corner of the street scraping bubblegum, being scraped off shoes like I'm bubblegum, while the world celebrates some other lady, and I am with great indignation. I know what it's like to be not Ashanti, but the woman, Wachal, and the folly that Ashanti is walking in. I am expected to be that thing. The folly that my ex-boyfriend's wife walked in. I'm expected to do that. A man that rabas at another woman, but a man that will be sung praises by the world, while he is literally butting two women, making them enemies, while this man is the perp, and the woman that he marries last, the woman that he marries eventually last, or amunkang, the Ashanti in this equation. Do you understand? She eventually learns that Lensha, he did it to her, now he's doing it to me too. But by then, are we not all in middle age? By then, are we not all divorced with 3 kids? By then, have we not all lost a prospect at a nuclear family, 1 man, 1 husband with a whole bunch of children, all the way to your ripe old age until you've got a crown of grandkids? That beautiful family that everybody longs for with a picket fence when they're still kids, all that is lost to you now. Exchanging each other like underwear. Others people's husbands. 2 ex-husbands, 2 exes. One is an ex-wife, one is an ex-husband. Remarry. Blended family. Alicia Keys, Swiss Beats. By a blended family, ne? When you are to be grabbing a person's children from somewhere else and then bringing them in, and then next thing it's the coat of many colors but without the glory of Joseph. Yeah, lama family lawa, you think they're beautiful. We're a dude that long ago some woman that you know now today so recycle amatota that has destroyed abafazi. Look at Tiffany Hudson. Tiffany, the one with the mole on her face. That chick, common. And now common is with Jennifer Hudson, or last time I checked, the way the change is got boyfriend in the entertainment industry, not entertainment industry, some dude that was the boyfriend of Hlongwane that you are now separated from years down the line. Mara, he's still cute, so I don't know. Taboo, not to me anyway. Kodwa, Karabo, you're as good as any man. And besides, it's been 12 years since I saw your ex-boyfriend. You're cute though. Some dude on my ex. It's like divorcee, we're gonna have for each. So we're gonna be a blended family, have a whole bunch of teenagers running around, and then we are just popping a brand spanking new one. That's what Ashanti did. She's got her own children or child. Then Nelly has got his own cornucopia. The 2 of them made a baby. It's about blended family like Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. That cesspool, God is picking a controversy with it. This thing of Abafazi not waking up to smell the coffee, that Lamatota, Bayasimoshela, and they make us evil, is the very thing that caused Nadia Nagai to literally go out of her way, aka as a doorway, a tattoo on her hand, aka of which Bandlawe, or just because he's dead doesn't mean I'm not gonna call him out. Understand? Anele Tembe. She committed suicide over him. Okay, there are 2 different kinds of women, and I like to say that. I keep repeating myself. Who, upon being made crazy by men, will react in one of 2 ways. There's the hard knock on Bogoto strong ones that will make like Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale and key a man's car, knife his tires, burn it with his clothes in it, and then go on right ahead with a straight face to act like ain't nothing did, ain't nothing happened. Or like the Lady Wako Diary of a Mad Black Woman, when a man out here manifests rude, disabled after a car accident in a bathtub, making sure that he can barely breathe because you are taking out squinch. That's the one kind of woman. Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale. Or that lady in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, they go crazy until they take matters into their own hands and make a man's life a living misery. Because yeah, she was a lover and a secretary, working every day of the week. Was at the job when no one else was there, helping you get on your feet. 11 years of sacrifice. Without the kids, I ain't got nothing to show. Wasted my years, a fool of a wife. I should have left you behind 1,000 times. No, I'm shut up. There's that lady, right? That's not gonna cry. That's not gonna cry no more. No, I'm not gonna cry. It's not the time, cause you're not with my tears. Not in a circumstance in life I gave chances, but this seems so unfair to me. Where are the circumstances? Consequences, where are the consequences? In sickness and health, till death do us part. Those are the words that we said from the start. And now when you say that you're leaving me, I don't get that part. She out here wailing in the streets, but she be burning a man's car on the way there. Or even Lynn Whitfield in It's a Thin Line Between Love. Are you home, hungry honey? Abo Cindy Mankrele. So yeah, two types of women. The Cindy Mankrele's fall in this category of Lynn Whitfield in Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Angela Bassett, and that other Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Lady Chica. Okay, you know how go Thin Line Between Love and Hate. It's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line between love. Are you hungry, honey? Did you eat? Baby, let me hang up your coat. What in the world is going on? Pass me your hat too. Kana kwa teng yo ka ta fitla ko ntlong ko jarateng ka 3 AM in the morning ha sa lwana. Mara a se ke go gwaza keng, hey? Cindy Mankrele out here killing flower. Are you hungry, honey? Did you eat? Baby. Either way, it's not good to be any of these ladies. And then there are the ones on this side. So there are the Cindy Mankrele's, Angela Bassett's, and that other lady, ne? Cindy Mankrele, of which is a real life version. And then on the other side, Hona le baba ravazwanke banna marakiti sweet konyana. They're so fluffy, they're light like a feather. You go and she falls on the ground. Those are the ones that out here be committing suicide over men. Those are the ones that out here be drinking themselves to a stupor, taking drugs. These are the ones that mess up with parents, families. These are the ones that manifest heartbreak in ways so as to drop the ball on their life altogether over a man. Yeah, so she jumps out of a building in Jeffela in a frenzy, a heat. But the same man is at the center of them. He has an ex-girlfriend that turned to drugs, ex-girlfriend whose parents don't know what happened with our child. She changed. She became a grunge, a goth. Ex-girlfriend that I mentioned commits suicide, that dropped out of varsity. Ex-girlfriend that just lost her mind. And then there are the ones on this side. Una ex-girlfriend yo chirene hlanya ke hai trabola mataire a koloi ko pating re sa tsebore re ketseng ha qeta chika batho ba rogaka. Ke ha re bitsa maponesa a ba balega ha qeta mo ba gutla ka osane a ba topa tia gas mo jagateng ya hae he batho mosadi ona re tsena gona re tshwantse ka lo mo tshwarisa. Lynn Whitfield, Angela Bassett, and Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Lady Chick, Cindy Mankrele takes a man to RIP. Bolaya monna like Lynn Whitfield. That's the one category.